Back live, we continue right here on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. Bob Pompeani and Paul Zeise with you at 412-575-2600. Tweet us at KDPomp, at Paul Zeise. Before I do anything else, I want to get to a situation that happened last night. The Penguins won a game on the road, a nice bounce-back effort by them. Casey DeSmith gets the win, his first ever in the NHL. But there was a hit in that game that I thought begged for discipline. And it was a situation where Dustin Brown, their alternate captain, longtime captain, had a vulnerable Justin Schultz along the board on his knees, and he still hit him from behind, defenseless, face first into the boards. If that doesn't call for discipline, I don't know what does. That Department of Player Safety took another step back today, Paul. They gave him a $10,000 fine, but what is that going to do?
I mean, it had to be a suspension.
Had to be.
It's clear that they're just paying lip service to, the fact that they're interested in player safety, right? I mean, if these things aren't going to draw a suspension, what is the point? What does the $10,000 fine do?
Nothing.
You basically
made more money than $10,000 means nothing to them.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The whole point is, the NHL continues to say they're worried about player safety, but their actions say something different.
Right, and you have a chance to send more messages. And when you do that, most of the time it results in less of these events. But by doing it this way, it won't go away. They'll just continue. And we have some tweets. Dennis Stillwagner on Twitter. Thank you, Dennis. He says, trade Lev Bell to Cleveland for the 1st and 4th pick, 2 first-round picks. Well, first of all, they'll never do that, Dennis. Number one, here's the reason. Because Le'Veon Bell is making a ton of money. They don't want to pay that. Why would you – and one of those picks is going to be Saquon Barkley, Paul. So why would you give up on him at an entry-level contract versus paying Le'Veon Bell, what you're going to have to pay?
I mean, I think, I think the big thing is you're not trading him for much of anything. Why would anyone trade for him when they know that you probably, if you're trading for him, you might have to cut him? You're just going to let him go and they can get him for giving you nothing. And you're certainly not getting a first-round pick, much less two for him. No.
Chris Isaacs on Twitter says, Bob, at the right price, would you want to see Evander Kane in a Penguins uniform? Also, do you think Jung Ho Kang will ever play for the Pirates again? Evander Kane would take a lot of doing just because of his contract, and I like him as a player, although I think he can be a problem at times. So my answer would be I don't think they need him right now. As far as Kang, Paul, he's in the Dominican, so now he's apparently looking for an opportunity to come back here, and I don't know if that helps his cause or not.
Yeah, I mean, if he makes it back, he'll play, I'm assuming. The only problem is
as long as he uses an Uber to get to where he has
to go. But the other thing is they've already got like 19 third basemen on this team, according, and they just traded for another one.
Plus,
so
who knows what he's going to be like?
Yeah, exactly.
Let's go to Brian in McCandless. Hey, Brian, how are you?
Good. How you doing, Bob? How you doing, Paul?
Good, thanks.
Just wanted to follow up. I was listening to the show, and I think with the Steelers, I respectfully disagree with you. I think the players really like Mike Tomlin.
They do.
I'm not sure they respect him.
No, I think they do, but I think you got to watch. It's a tough thing to be a so-called player's coach. I think he, we've been here for a long time. I think by and large, there are issues out there that affect every team like this. But this year, more than any, has affected the Steelers and made it derailed an opportunity to get to where they wanted to go. So I don't think they don't respect him. I think they may take advantage of certain things, and if it goes undisciplined, then you can have a problem.
Well, I do agree. I think that's the thing where there's no discipline. I think you have great players, but these players are out for themselves. They don't play as a team. They play as individuals.
Yeah, I think thanks for the call. Isn't that that's tough? Coaching today is tough on all levels because of that, I think.
I mean, I think the biggest problem, that's what you got. That's your biggest problem with your Steelers is you've got to deal with that kind of stuff. I think you've got to find a way. Mike Tomlin's got to find a way to make people a little bit uncomfortable. I agree with that. To me, it's not about being. You don't got to be Tom Coughlin when he first came into the league and was nuts, and there was pushback. But once he sort of softened some things up, he still was in control. Players respected him, liked him. They still we're still not going to mess with Coach Tom here.
Right.
But people were uncomfortable enough in the building that they knew, hey, we got to get done what we got to get done. All it would take is cutting somebody and getting rid of a coach.
This is the same sort of problem we just described with the NHL discipline department.
Yeah.
Unless you show that you mean business, no one's going to respect that part of it.
Right.
So you got to show you mean business. Let's go to line 5. That's John in Sharpsburg. Hey, John, how you doing?
All right, Bob. How you doing this evening?
Good. Thank you for the call.
Thank you, Bob. Hey, Bob, thanks for your time. Hey, I agree. Bell, I am so tired of Bell, and I'm a diehard Steelers fan. I am so tired of Bell, and you guys are 200% right. He's way ahead of himself. Arrogance. I expect him to come out someday with a mask like he's a superhero and a cape on. That's what I expect.
Well, listen, it still is a business, and you have to judge what you have because he still is an elite runner. He's one of those guys you'd like to have on your team, all things being equal, but they're not equal right now, and that's the problem, I think.
Did you read that article from Mike DeCourcy in the Sporting News?
Yes.
He raises a lot of good points about the fact that Le'Veon Bell's not a game breaker. He really isn't. I didn't really look at it the way that he did in terms of like runs more than 15 yards and 20 yards and,
but
and
I think
receptions.
that's the last year and a half. I think before that he was.
Well, I mean, that's who he is. That's the guy you're giving $14.6 million.
You consider big plays what he did in the postseason? He made a nice catch on that one.
The touchdown pass, right.
He's very active in the pass game. I'll never understand his demands being, quote, a receiver as well as a running back.
See, my thing is, if you're going to
he's one position.
If you're going to bring him back at $14.6 million, honestly, I'd run him 400 times.
Well, that's another reason why you may not want to do a long-term deal with him because already
you don't want to do a long-term deal. That's lunacy.
Let's go to Bud in O'Hara Township. Hey, Bud, what's up?
Hi, how are you?
Good, you?
Good. Question about Mike Tomlin's coaching style. Do you think that he's kind of the Foge Fazio of this generation?
No, first of all, he's had a lot of success. I will say this. When you're looking back at this situation, you have to, they have an offensive lineup filled with very good players. Hall of Fame players, more than just Roethlisberger potentially. Antonio Brown will be one. Bell is of that quality. You got to make the most when you get these opportunities. That's why this last loss was one that, to me, is his worst in a playoff situation, Paul. You get these opportunities once in a while. New England, for all we know, Brady's having a hand. You're going to miss maybe an opportunity to take them out. And this, when you stack Lombardi trophies, this could be the biggest opportunity wasted.
I said it before. If you look at his first 4 years and his last 7, they're completely different. His first 4 years, they were dominant, and he had, 5 or 6 playoff wins in 4 years? In the last 7 years, he's got 3 playoff wins. That's it. One against the Dolphins last year with their backup quarterback who stunk. And one against the Bengals.
Which was given.
Yeah, with the meltdown of the Bengals. So
I still though respect
what I'm saying is
at what he is.
Right, but what I'm saying is there are some people that act like he's untouchable. It's like, listen, if you really look at it, his last 7 years have probably been a little bit underwhelming. I mean,
based on what he set up for the first.
Right, but not just that. You got Ben Roethlisberger. You've got the best. You got the best organization in football, and this and that. We're talking 7 years. Missed the playoff twice, right? 3 times, one and done.
But I will also point that out. If you're going to use that as your barometer, then you have to look at Drew Brees in New Orleans and say they won once. Look at Aaron Rodgers.
That's my point. But again,
it's hard to do.
That's my point.
Say that.
They've won one. I'm not talking about winning Super Bowls. I'm talking about just winning some playoff games.
I understand that, but
that's what I'm talking
for
about.
them, it's about winning Super Bowls, and when you set the bar high, that's what you get, and that's a good thing to set the bar.
It is. But again,
let's go to Brad in Duncansville. Hello, Brad.
Hi, Bob. Hi, Paul. How are you guys?
Good. Thanks.
I have 2 points. Who's going to play center field since McCutcheon's gone? And my Steeler question for you is, at some point, do you think the Steelers will hang on to one of their tight ends, and do you think it'll be Jesse James, or do you think they'll get rid of him?
Well, Vance McDonald's coming up on a nice little guaranteed bonus part. I think it's in March. Thanks, Brad. I like both. I hope they keep both. They can be weapons. I think Jesse James has gotten better as he's gone.
McDonald drops some passes, but he makes some big plays. Yes. He makes some big plays. I like McDonald. You know what? It wouldn't even be an issue how much money if you get rid of Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, that, and you may also save money if they decide to move on from Mike Mitchell. That could be $20 million.
Which they should.
So we'll see how that goes. But 412-575-2600 is the number. Matt and Jerry coming up next right here on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.